So, okay, so now we back to 3 in the morning. Though y'all do 3 in the
Okay.
morning, but you said though you were like he had the Impala and y'all weren't really talking about it. But that's still like relatively after 3 in the morning. So what happened to y'all? What was the rift that kind of caused y'all to split up?
Okay. Mm. We had got a check from Big Russ, and it was for like $40,000. 20% of that for management fees uh, was $8,000. It had been a few days, and I hadn't heard from school. And normally, whenever it come to my money, school would get with me right then and there, or not too long after. You know what I'm saying? I have no issues. But now it's about 3 days, and I'm like, God damn, I ain't heard nothing about from school on my little issue, my little, little money. So I go over to his house that evening, and I got my boys, my brother and his rap partner, Trouble House and the Great Black Shark, the guys that's on that picture that's famous on the internet
Mm-hmm.
and Netflix. So I got them in the car with me. At this point, they're promoters for me. They're no longer rapping. They're going from here to Georgia with me or wherever I'm promoting in the streets. They become part of my promotion team. You know what I'm saying? They are very instrumental in the success of Screw too, as well as a guy named Randy Hanna. These three were my main people that would hit the streets with me, pass out flyers, put up posters, because that's what we had. We didn't have social media back in them days. It was hand to hand, brick and mortar. You see what I'm saying? No social media. We didn't, so that's the I would get females from strip clubs and have them dress nice, and I'd take them to Atlanta with me, and y'all pass out these flyers. These are the type of tactics that I use to get screw out. If I saw a quinceanera, whatever how you
Quinceañera, yeah.
and one like one thing I saw what you call it?
Quinceañera, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I what you call it, crashed it.
Hmm.
But I passed out flyers and posters and T-shirts and cassettes, and they loved it. You know what I'm saying? I did not discriminate because music don't discriminate. If I saw some white kids walking with their parents in Galleria, I give them a flyer. You know what I'm saying? And so then when at his wake, I saw the evidence of that when you saw the multitude of ethnicities that came to view his body. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how it grew. As a matter of fact, here's a story. When I knew we were successful, and this is a true story. I'm in Bel Air, and I'm doing some promotion at Sharpstown High, passing out flyers and cassettes and whatnot. Because you have to give in order to receive.
Right.
So we did a lot of giving, and so next thing you know, I hear some screw in the distance. And so I'm like, well, damn, who's jamming that screw around in this area? Because it was mostly white kids at that time. You know what I'm saying? And a mixture, but it was mostly white. And so next thing you know, turning the corner was this middle-aged white couple.
Wow.
I kid you not. And I'm scratching my head. I'm looking. I'm like tripping. So I go to Screw. I say, man, Screw, man, we made it. He said, what you talking about, man? What you talking about? So I told him what I was doing and what I saw. He said, man, you lying. I said, yeah, man, for real, man. I ain't going to sit up here and bullshit you. This is what I saw, man. I said, we done made it. Yeah, that's a true story, man. But even after that, you could see yuppies in business offices, business parks, jamming Screw. I've
Yeah.
seen that so many times.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People that just when you look at them, you wouldn't
You
even
wouldn't
think
expect them to be
to
into
be
that.
into that.
Yeah.
Right. I'm at a concert. We was at an OJ concert, and we on the elevator, and this old a middle-aged white couple, they had just lost their son, and some kind of way we got into the conversation, and they was talking about, yeah, we love Screw because our son loved him. He passed away, but and I'm talking to attorneys. You know what I'm saying? These are white attorneys, and they loving them some Screw. So he's touched a lot of folks.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not just a Houston thing. It's not even just a national thing. It's a worldwide thing on the hip hop scene.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, and because you have the national artists like Beyonce, who's probably shot Screw out, you know what I'm saying, the Erica Badu's and the R. Kelly's, you know what I'm saying, you know,
yeah, yeah,
they've used his work in them, his work in their work.
yeah,
You
yeah,
see what I'm saying? So that's the reason why you see, and then on top of it, his untimely death. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, had a lot to do with him propelling to becoming a legend. You know what I'm saying? I hate what I'm saying that it happened that way for him, but you know what I'm saying. But we can only imagine what he would be doing had he lived.
yeah, yeah.
You know, yes.
Yeah. So you were saying you were talking about when y'all went to his house. You were saying you were trying to see what was up the
Oh
motorcycle.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
See, you know I get off,
Nah,
man.
it's good. Nah, I'm
It's
gonna
just
keep
so
you
much
on though. Yeah,
information.
yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I go to his house, man. Thank you, man. I go to his house and I say, hey, screw, you know what I'm saying? I'm here for my little issue, right? And it's just him and Al, nobody else. My boy's out in the car, and he goes to his bedroom because he didn't really believe in banks. You know what I'm saying? He didn't trust them, man. He kept a lot of money in his room up under his mattress, like some old folks do. You know what I'm saying? And he come back with two stacks, I think it was like two stacks, $2,000 in each. And I flipped through it. Flipped through it. I say, hey man, like this ain't number 4 G's, man. 20% of 40,000 is 8. Where's the other 4? So he looked at me and countenance on, and he said, what did you do to deserve 20%? So I looked at Al, and Al just put his head in his hand because, like, he couldn't believe what he just heard. And so then I'm looking at Screw, waiting for the punchline, you know what I'm saying? The laugh, ha ha, you know what I'm saying? But it never came. And I said, wow, this dude is for real. What did I do to deserve 20%? I done almost died 2 times promoting this Screw with this north side, south side plex. I done had my foot ran over. I done been spat on. I done had flyers thrown back in my face. You know what I'm saying? I done been cursed out. What did I do to deserve 20%? You know what I'm saying? And so then I looked at him. I said, you know what? And he tried to make me like his personal road manager because I know what happened. You know what I'm saying? That's another story in itself. Uh, but, people, the snakes will come out the woodworks. You know what I'm saying? They'll wait till that train start rolling before they want to jump on. And so that's what happens, what happened in this situation. Somebody got to talking in his ear. You know what I'm saying? So now all of a sudden I'm no longer good enough to be his manager after I done put in all his work to get him where we were at. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm only good enough to be like your road manager. And that was not good enough for me. So I said, you know what, screw, we good. So I
Right
left.
there at that meeting,
At
that
that
was it.
meeting, that was it. That's how we severed our tie.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like when we were riding together, we used to always talk about what we were going to do and how we were going to do it. You know what I'm saying? When we make it, and it took us 10 years. You know what I'm saying? And we finally made it, and then we get one little check because that was just the first installment. You know what I'm saying? And I had just negotiated even a better deal at that time. You know what I'm saying, for him on the next project. And and then for money to come in, I don't know if that was the only determining factor. You know what I'm saying? Because I was dibbing and dabbing, but
This is when you start getting into the
yeah,
drugs and
this
all
one,
that.
yeah,
Okay.
I used to.
Donnie Houston.